Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the last segment of the West Coast Press podcast. We have one of my least favorite people in the world, I think. Chris Jackson is on today. How you doing?
It's the last segment and it's probably the worst segment too. I think I would say usually they say save the best for last. I don't know if you want me as the closer or the
Yeah.
starter or anywhere in there.
Well, we are recording this right before we post the podcast, so no need for any predictions or predicting the future for Chris. Everything is going to be current as to what happened when this gets posted. So let's get things started right away. The biggest question we have: how do the Lions beat the 49ers? I'm joking. We don't
Oh,
need.
Jared Goff, Marin County boy torches the Niners. I think that's it right there.
We're gonna stay focused on Sacramento basketball. The first one we have to go to, it happened last night. Brandon Gibson's latest masterpiece, and is he the athlete of the year?
I think everybody on social media was talking about that last night, right? It seemed like it almost felt like one of those big time NBA things, like MB dropping 70, right? But on the high school Twitter scene, it was just popping off. And he scored 52 points for Monterey Trail last night, who was already the number 2 team. It was already him and I would say Mark Lavernoff from Rockland were kind of neck and neck right here, and Lavernoff on the number 1 team. But scoring 52 points and that efficiency of 22 of 26 shooting, 6 of 8 from three. Sometimes you get a lot of points, but it's high volume shots like we've seen Russell Westbrook do, some other guys at every level do that. He's not that. He's very efficient and smart. He's got some D2 offers. The fact he doesn't have a D1 offer, I know you don't need to worry about the D1 or bust mentality, but the fact he doesn't have a Division 1 offer is asinine. I would confidently say, but I think he's the front runner now. You score 52 points like that, he's already averaging over 20 a game, and you've got that kind of efficiency that pretty much almost locks up the race, I would say.
Yeah, there's still a couple of weeks left, but
Yep.
scoring 52 on that type of efficiency is insane. But there's been some crazy milestones that have been recently hit. Go through some of those.
Yeah, it seemed like this last week, especially everywhere, it was just milestone here, milestone there. It was like, how do I keep a milestone thing out of a roundup headline last week, right? But it was Casa Roble, right? They had that great football season. Well, boys basketball's doing pretty well too, and they've got Benny Ambrose. He's going to celebrate 1,000 career points on Friday, and guess what? He's still got another year of high school left after this. He's got a big milestone that he's achieved, and going to celebrate that Friday, and that might actually be the game of the week. And then at Folsom, you had Cameron Mafua, a senior girls basketball star, top 100 player nationally, signed with Cal, just hit 1,000 career points last week against Whitney, who a top 5 team. They beat 75-18, which shows you how good Folsom is this year, especially at full strength with Mafua. And she was a McDonald's All-American nominee for a while, didn't make the final roster, but a Jordan Lee at St. Mary's did, which is a great milestone. The 5th player in St. Mary's history to make it to the McDonald's All-American game. You drive into that campus, you see all those pictures of WNBA and NBA stars, and got a feeling she'll be next. That's another milestone. You've got Rockland's head coach Steve Taylor hit 500 career wins last week. They beat Granite Bay. They beat Whitney, now 23-0. Hard to do, especially in the SFL, to keep winning like that. He's one of the best. And then at West High School in Tracy, their head coach Brandon Parks hit 150 career wins last week. And then one milestone that I'm looking at, we'll get into in a minute, but Liberty Ranch is a milestone that looks like it's going to come up really, really soon.
Yeah. And before we get into that, you want to talk about this 2026 class. It's a similar take to what I had about the football class in 2023. Best class ever. Is this the best girls hoop class in Sacramento?
Yeah, it's really good. The 2024 class is really good with some stars, but what 2026 is showing right now is everyone. There's some girls that are still waiting to really have that bubble burst in terms of recruiting, stock, and all that stuff. I imagine during AAU, during that whole Section 7 and the whole Cali Life thing that happens, I think, in Rockland or Roseville in June will really open some eyes. But yeah, the one that I saw on Tuesday, Haley Smith at Liberty Ranch, she's a sophomore, already 917 career points. And you give her averages, you give her another 4 games, she's probably hitting that mark, right? But she is wildly efficient, a great passer. As our head coach, Josh Williams, said, as we go, as she goes, she makes everybody better. And she's got a Fresno State offer already, but Coolest thing about her story too is her older brother's a D1 football player at Ball State. He's 6'7" defensive end. Both of her parents, her dad played football at Cal, her mother basketball at Cal. And then let's just take a look at some of the other stuff in her family too. She's had family members play at Harvard, at Whittier, at UC Santa Barbara, right? So Haley Smith's seen success, and I don't think it's crazy to say that she might be the best of them all. And I think that's probably what everybody's rooting for. But 917 career points already, and you're just over halfway through your sophomore season is ridiculous, ridiculous. I mean, she could play college softball if she wants to. She's already a 2-year varsity player, and she has club volleyball practices after basketball and on weekends. So it's you got to be a little nuts and a little crazy to do that. And then Lauren Harris at Faith Christian, a sophomore. I mean, it's last week she had 53 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 threes in one game. Then this past game, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 4 threes, but she's averaging over 29 points a game, second in the state in total made threes, and number 1 in made threes per game. So that 2026 class there. And then I look at a girl like Joy Omashakin at Christian Brothers as a stud, and she just had a big game for Christian Brothers again last night too. But the sophomore class seems like everywhere, even the Bay Area. I know Jack's mentioned, I think Ethan Castle's mentioned, it just seems like the future's really bright, not in just Sacramento, but Northern California.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely seems like that 26 class is the next one to look for in that senior year. When they are seniors, will be crazy. But we're going to get into Laguna Creek, and we've seen time and time again, it's not about the best team, it's about when you get hot at the right time. And is Laguna Creek the one that's getting hot at the right time?
Yeah, I would say so. I think your Giants hat is almost perfect for that, because anytime they won those 3 World Series, right, they just were they the best the whole regular season? No, but they got hot at the right time and won when they needed to and just went crazy, right? And Laguna Creek's playing just excellent basketball. They beat Grant last night. They've got a good collection of talent. 5-2 in league, still in 3rd place, but considering the way they're playing, they've got 2nd place Burbank coming to their home tomorrow night in Elk Grove. They've got a chance to keep inching their way up. And you've got a freshman like Jalen Virgil, who just got his first D1 offer as well. Kind of speaks to the young talent again there. He just had 17 points, had some big threes, and got some older guys too. KJ Ramey hit kind of the game clinching 15 points. I think Laguna Creek early on in the year, they had a lot of talent, but it was just about meshing it together and getting some of the young guys really acclimated to varsity basketball. And I think Laguna Creek's right there. They still got to get past Monterey Trail in that league, but I think they could give them a better fight than they did that first meeting. And heck, finishing 2nd in the Metro League probably means you finish 1st in a lot of other leagues this year, just because Monterey Trail's a different beast this year.
Yeah. And then your last topic that you want to go over, what are some girls and boys teams that are expected to make extra noise in the stretch run?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to Christian Brothers. I know I just mentioned their sophomore, but they've got their star Kaya Foster set to come back from an ACL tear soon. She tore that in the section final last year. She looks like she's going to come back, but without her, they've still played really good basketball. Shannon Foster knows how to coach, but they've got Aaliyah Harmon, a junior captain, who just had 20 points last night, 8 steals. You've got that sophomore Joy has got 16 points, 5 steals. They've got a freshman Olivia Novi with the Cal Poly offer. I mean, when I saw them, I think she hit 5 or 6 threes, and she's every bit a national type prospect. I would say you add Kaya Foster into this mix with already the way these youngsters have stepped up and the way Aaliyah Harmon's really stepped up as a captain in Kaya Foster's absence. Christian Brothers has a very, very good chance to return back to the Golden One Center next month and play for a section crown. And then in boys, watched their stream last week, but 12 Bridges, that length, it's hard to match up, especially at this level where you've got 2 forwards that are 6'6" or taller, and they're both really smooth athletic players. You got Jacob Gilchrist, a UC Davis signee. He's scored 30+ points in numerous games this year. James Sweet, another guy. He's a stud too. Had them have some big games. They got depth in that backcourt too. You've got Jonah Gilchrist, David High. They've got a lot of guys, and they're in first place in that league. And I think in D5, 12 Bridges can make a lot of noise. And then the other one, back to the Capital Athletic League, is Capital Christian. Is they were 1 point away from winning at Sacramento in overtime a couple weeks ago. Sac comes to their place on Tuesday, and Capital Christian's got a lot of pieces. Now their full rosters here. They've added 2 players to the mix. Danny Panda's really good. Jeff Tambala's been playing really well. one point away. They've won some big games since, six straight. Crushed Christian Brothers. They beat Clayton Valley Charter and Bishop O'Dowd, beat some really great Bay Area programs, and they've got another Player of the Year candidate. Jalen Valdez is a D1 offer. He's really crafty, and you add in CJ Willenborg, who's a great shooter as well, great all around player, and Miles Wiggins in that front court. And I think Capital Christian has a lot of pieces to, I think, make this Capital athletically race, maybe even a tie at the top when Sacramento goes back to their place, and perhaps make a run all the way to Golden One Center too.
Well, that is all the topics that we have today, but I have one topic that I have to give you because I gave it to Jack and Dylan. Give me a prediction for this Detroit Lions football game coming up this weekend.
Oh no, I don't want to get the Niners the satisfaction. I'm a noted Niners hater, and I always will be. I'm picking the hometown here. I'm picking Jared Goff, Marin County all the way. I love Marin County. Let's give Jared Goff that win. Silence the Niners crowd. Silence the so-called Niner faithful, Niner gain-ins. Bring Detroit back to the Super Bowl. So could you imagine, though, the Lions going to the Super Bowl, how crazy those fans would be? I mean, that would be
It would
one of
be
the great
incredible.
stories. Oh yeah, and that's what I'm hoping for. And you know what? I'm going to say the Lions win.
We have lost a ton of subscribers on this one episode just for being Niner haters. Maybe we've gained some though too. I'm picking the Lions 31-27. Maybe
Yeah,
much.
hopefully the refs are not on the Niner side this time. Let's be real. There were some ridiculously missed calls, intentional grounding right before a touchdown. That whole fourth down ball spot, and the Niners lined up offsides. Let's do better in the NFC Championship.
I'm gonna hurt every Niners fan's heart. I hope there's a Kyle Williams repeat in this game.
That was one of the best memories of my football life. I'll never forget all of those times, man. And just the next day at school, oh, the look on Niners fans' faces. It was, I don't know if I've ever been happier than that day.
Yeah, we just lost half our fan base right here. All of our subscriptions went down, but that's okay. All right, that's it for Chris Jackson. Make sure you go read all of his stuff on westcoastpreps.com. He's got incredible stories coming out every single day. And that is it for the West Coast Preps podcast. Thank you.